Both Texas basketball programs hit a bump in the road down the closing stretch of the regular season. Softball coach Mike White made a bunch of people angry, and he could care less. And the Texas football Kool-Aid is already being mixed. Will you drink it? All that and more coming up right now on College Crossfire.
What are those? Coming back to that 2021 MVP. He's better than Josh Allen. He's better than Baker Mayfield. He's not better than Mahomes. I can't say that.
What you miss a kick, you get kicked.
You know, a bag of money or whatever, some food inside of them. No, that is a great answer. How dare you? Oh, man.
Good evening and welcome into College Crossfire, the best sports debate show on the planet. I'm your host, Tommy Yarrish. We've got another good one lined up for you. As always, let's go ahead and meet our contestants. On first base, now that his 28-3 Super Bowl PTSD is in the rearview mirror, we have to find new ways to bully him on tonight's show, but we can't since he's our reigning champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Goosman. Welcome back, Goose. How are you?
I'm great. You know, your introductions never fail to make me laugh, but it's good to be here, ready to defend my title.
Well, we're grateful to have you back, and alongside him, two newbies. We'll start on second base. It's his College Crossfire debut. Please welcome Michael Alvarez. Welcome to the show, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling great. I'm ready to get it started. I don't blow 28-3 leads like his team over here. Throw some strays at him.
He's already getting brownie points with me. I mean, any stray shots at Goose that land with the 28-3 are good with me. Welcome to the show, and congratulations on making your debut. More congratulations to be had. Last but not least, on third base, he's also making his College Crossfire debut. Please welcome Ikey Kohler. Ikey, thanks for being here, man. How are you?
I'm doing great tonight. Thank y'all for having me on, and I'm ready to get started. Let's get cooking. Let's go.
Let's get cooking. All right.
There you go.
Thank you all so much for making it out here and being with us tonight. Let's go ahead and start cooking. Texas men's and women's basketball picked up losses this past week. The men lost to Texas Tech on the road, and the women, conversely, lost to Iowa State in Ames. With these losses in mind, are they more of a testament to the team struggling, just going through a little bit of a tough stretch, or is it just showing how talented from top to bottom the Big 12 Conference is in basketball? Justin, you start us off.
I think it's absolutely a testament to how good the Big 12 Conference is on both sides, the men and the women. On both sides, you only have 3 teams that are below 500 in conference play, and when you go on the road in the Big 12, it is almost impossible to feel comfortable. We saw it with the men against Texas Tech and the women against Iowa State. Going on the road in the Big 12 is like a death sentence, especially if you're playing a ranked team. But if you watch the broadcast between Texas Tech and Texas, Fran Fraschilla made a great point. Texas Tech is like no other 2-10 team that you've ever seen in the Big 12, and that's just a testament to how good the conference is from top to bottom. If you do not bring your A game on either side, you're absolutely in danger of losing. So in my opinion, while the women or the men, you might see some struggles here or there, it's just a testament to how good the Big 12 is.
And it's absolutely hard to win on the road, especially in the Big 12 Conference, because you think of some of the environments that you have to play in. Lawrence, Kansas, Lubbock, Texas. The list goes on and on and on. So extremely difficult, and a win on the road just means that much more. Sorry, SEC, in the Big 12. Michael?
Like he said, the Big 12 is a hard place to win. There's a lot of great teams. I mean, the women's team coming off, they lost Iowa State, but they're coming off a 7-game win streak, really pushed ahead, had them leading in the Big 12. And on the men's side, yeah, they lost to Tech. Tech's kind of a hot team right now. They're coming off of 2 ranked wins in a row. I know they're low in the 12. They're down there, but, I mean, just like he was saying, the Big 12 is a tough place to play, a bunch of great teams. And it really comes down to how they can finish this stretch and push into March.
Talking about Texas Tech, it was really odd to see them start the season off so poorly. We know how good of a coach Mark Adams is. We know how good of a class they had and what they brought in transfer-wise. Injuries, it just takes time to connect all those pieces, and now it's starting to formulate down there in Lubbock. Ikey, close us out.
So starting off with both the men's and the women's, the Big 12, it's a very tough place to play. Starting off with the men's, the top 6 teams, they're all within 2 games of first place, which is almost unprecedented. If you look at the national rankings and Quadrant 1 wins, 4 of the top 6, they're all from the Big 12. And that's, speaking of the top of the Big 12, but, speaking of the bottom, Texas Tech, They had 3 top 15 home wins. We were just the 3rd casualty. And then Oklahoma, who's the last place team in the Big 12, knocked off Kansas State last night. And so it shows that for the men's, the Big 12's top to bottom is stacked. And for the women's, it's not as deep of a conference as the men's, but they do have 6 tournament teams that are projected by Joe Lunardi. And I think if you ask Coach Schaefer though about the game against Iowa State, it was at Iowa State. They missed free throws down the line. They were 5 for 12 from the free throw line, and they were 1 for 12 from the 3-point line in the 4th quarter. So I think if you ask Coach Schaefer, it was a very winnable game, but obviously a testament to the conference.
Yeah, free throws especially are killer, and we've seen that not just on the women's side with Vic Schaefer and company, but on the men's side as well. That was a huge part of losing that game to Texas Tech in Lubbock. Really good way to start off our show tonight. Ikey, I think you're going to get the 3 points here. Michael, you'll get the 2. Justin, you get the 1. Still a lot of room to work for. In the opening week for Texas softball, head coach Mike White was under fire for purposely extending a game against Kentucky so that a drop-dead rule would come into effect, forcing the game to result in a 4-4 tie instead of a 7-4 Kentucky win, since a final full inning wasn't played. Now, this obviously caused a lot of controversy. Is this correct gamesmanship, things like that? Do you agree with White's strategy, or do you feel that extending the game on purpose and purposely trying to take the time off the clock is ethically wrong? Michael, we'll start with you.
Honestly, personally, I like the strategy. I mean, it's a rule for a reason. They agreed that 2:30 was the drop dead time. If it extends that, it's over. They have flights to catch and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was a tough final inning for the start. They went down 7-4 after being up most of the majority of the game. And then when it came down to it, he extended it by adding a pinch runner on second. He had 2 timeout calls. He had inter-inning timeout calls. And, I mean, if it's a rule, I like that you go to try and play it, because it's like trying to draw a foul in basketball. I mean, you try to do it to get to the free throw line and get more points. So, I mean, it looks bad, but I think it's just how you play the game.
You play for the win, or in this case, the tie. Ikey?
To say that it was ethically wrong to do that, no, it's not ethically wrong at all. As Michael was saying, it did get a little extreme towards the end, at least from the outside perspective. Once they went down, I think the hitter was down 0-2 in the count, and Coach White stopped and added a pinch runner to let it hit. I think 3:30 was the drop dead time. But this isn't just on Mike White. This is the whole team decided to do this, and that it's strategy. It's what I would do if I was in the situation. Mia Scott, when she was hitting in the 7th inning, she called time to put contact solution, even to burn some time. And it wasn't only Texas doing this. In the 7th inning, to get out, Kentucky had runners on 3rd base with 2 outs, and to try to end the inning to stop it before the drop dead rule, a runner on 3rd base for Kentucky, she left early. And in softball, there's no leadoffs, and if you leave early, especially from 3rd, it's clearly on purpose. So Kentucky fans can whine and scream all they want, but they were playing the same game that Mike White was playing too.
Wow, we'll take that, Lexington. Ikey's having none of your games fired back at the Longhorn squad. Justin?
Yeah, no, I agree. If it's a rule and the rule is unjust, then the NCAA can do something about the rule later. I seem to remember a time when Bill Belichick got a delay of game and then followed that up with a false start against the Jets a couple years back to do the same exact thing and just waste time off the clock. The rule got changed in the offseason. If this is such an issue, then the NCAA can change the rule, or the rule can be looked at. But in my opinion, you play the game for a reason. However, there are rules in place, and if you're looking like you're going to lose the game, you have to do anything you can to try and win, or in this case tie, to make your record look better. If Kentucky wants to cry about it, they can, but at the same time, this is a rule that both teams agreed upon, a time in which the game should be ended, and if it reaches that time, then sorry, the game is over.
All right, so we have across the board telling fans in Lexington, Kentucky to just cry about it. So if you're from Kentucky and you're watching our show tonight, I don't know why, first of all. Second of all, I'm very sorry that you tied in your game, but a lot of season left. Maybe these two teams will meet later on when there won't be a drop-dead time, and it'll just be straight good softball. Great answers across the board again. Michael, you'll be getting the 3 here. Goose, you get the 2. Ikey, you get the 1. Last question here of our first block. As usual, ahead of the Texas football season, several articles have been published saying that, once again, This is the year for Texas, claiming that the Longhorns should have Big 12 title or bust, a type of mindset. Do you think that that criteria this season is reasonable? And if so, why or why not? Ikey, you start us off here.
You know, this criteria is kind of used every year when it comes to Texas football.
Tell me about it.
I mean, even with Sam Ellinger and Tom Herman and going back to Charlie Strong. But no, I think it's a reasonable goal to attain. You have Quinn Ewers coming back into a familiar system. At least four of the starting offensive linemen are coming back too. And you look at the receiving core. You got Jordan Whittington, Worthy, Isaiah Nayor, and they're coming back. And then you have talented receivers like Jonte Cook, among others coming in. And yeah, I think it's a very reasonable goal.
Yeah, certainly. Texas ranking, I believe, in the top 20 of returning production. Not talent, not starters, but returning production from a season ago. One starter on the Texas offense leaving, and that might be the biggest hole in the entire offense with Bijan Robinson heading to the NFL draft. The offensive line comes back entirely, but obviously things might get moved around, so I think you're completely right with your assessment there. Goose?
Absolutely. It's Big 12 championship or bust. You're in Steve Sarkisian's third year. This was always going to be the year. Like, this is the metric to measure Steve Sarkisian's success. He said that it was Big 12 championship or bust last season, but I think you're bringing back a quarterback in Quinn Ewers who's having another year under this Sark system, and then you have an amazing offense around him. Like you said, they're only losing one starter, and yes, it's Bijan, but they have a great running back room still. Jaden Blue, Jonathan Brooks, they're going to be fine in the run game. It's just going to come down to, is Steve Sarkisian's coaching good enough in the second half? Is he going to be able to sustain leads? Because this Texas team has the talent, and they've had the talent the entire time Sark has been the coach. It's just been execution late in games, and this year they can't afford to blow those leads late. It is absolutely Big 12 championship or bust, and with an expanded playoff, Big 12 championship likely means that you're going to be in the 12-team playoff. So in my opinion, it's not only Big 12 championship or bust, it is playoff or bust for Texas.
Wow. So Justin Goosman adding some extra sugar into the Kool-Aid here. Texas fans, if you're drinking it, I'm going to apologize now. Michael, close us out.
I got to agree with Goose here. It's Big 12 championship or bust. I mean, this is Sark's third year. This is the majority of his players that he's brought in. He's developed. This is his team now. He has to realize that they can't, like he was saying, you can't win off of the first half performance. You got to close out the second half. I like the new guys coming in Arch, Anthony Hill, Cedric Baxter to fulfill key positions, but I think it's on the older guys too. I mean, this is Quinn's year. He needs to hit that deep ball. He needs connection. Worthy needs to come back and adjust to the ball. I like to see Nayor finally come out and play after his terrible season-ending injury last year and scrimmages. And I think it's Big 12 or bust. And honestly, it could be college football playoff or bust too, because you have the talent. This is a weaker team. This is a weaker conference. I believe their schedule-wise. I mean, they play Rice, Wyoming. I mean, they play Alabama on the road, but not much against that. They don't even play Oklahoma State this year. I think it's Big 12 or bust.
Hey, don't count out Rice. You can't count out schools that you can eat, right? It just makes sense, right? Yeah, and JT Daniels too, and it is like 18th school in the past 5 years. Great answers once again across the board. Justin, you get the 3 here. Michael, you get the 1, and Ikey, you get the 2. We are 3 questions into this one, and it is, well, as close as you can be. All tied up across the board. Everybody's tied with 6 points. So it's anybody's game, as it usually is on this show. Still a long way to go. Next set of questions coming up on College Crossfire.
We can clap and make noise.
Welcome back into College Crossfire. Quick score update if you're just joining us. 6 points across the board. Everybody's tied, so not much really to update. We're still basically starting at 0. Let's go ahead and kick off our second block with this. Patrick Mahomes continues to cement his legacy. He just won his second Super Bowl in 5 years as a starter to go along with an already full trophy case from those 5 years. It seems that he's already garnered a first ballot Hall of Fame resume in such a short period of time. And the next hurdle that I can think of, at least, is passing Tom Brady as the greatest quarterback and maybe player of all time. This in mind, what more would Mahomes have to accomplish in his career for you to consider him the GOAT? Goose, we'll start with you.
I think it doesn't necessarily come down to championships. In my opinion, football is a team sport. Tom Brady, in every Super Bowl he's ever won, has had a top 10 defense. Patrick Mahomes has not in both of the Super Bowls that he has won. So, in my opinion, it absolutely comes down to longevity. While Patrick Mahomes could absolutely, stand to benefit from winning a couple more Super Bowls, if he can just prove that he can play at the level that he's playing at for the next 8-9 years and get up there in age with Tom Brady, seeing as Brady dominated the league for 20 years, then I think we can absolutely start talking about Mahomes being better than Brady. Because when you look at Mahomes, I mean, he's the most talented quarterback we have ever seen step on a football field. I don't think anybody can deny that. The throws that he can make on the run, the arm talent, his ability to read defenses, he has everything and he does it at such a high level. In my opinion, it all comes down to longevity, but for most, he's going to need to get at least 2 more Super Bowls. You think about the metric in basketball for LeBron and Michael Jordan. We really started talking about LeBron and MJ when Bron got to his 3rd championship. So I think Mahomes is probably going to need to be 3 away for the rest of the media to talk about it. But in my opinion, it's just got to be the longevity.
You know, I love that comparison between LeBron and MJ because it seems like that is the direction where this is headed. You can think of, maybe just because of Mahomes' playing style being so different from Brady, you think he may have more of a career like Michael Jordan where he's so good, but only in a certain period of time, and then, his age starts to catch up to him versus Tom Brady and LeBron being so good over such a long course of time. Michael, continue on.
It's Tom Brady we're talking about here. I mean, that's 7 Super Bowl rings. That's 5 Super Bowl MVPs. He's leads the NFL in career touchdowns, career yards. He's the greatest to ever step on the football field. I know Mahomes, he's gone to the AFC Championship all 5 years he started, been in 3 Super Bowls, won 2. That's very impressive. And I think if he continues on that stretch, he can one day pass Brady. But at the end of the day, he is the model of an NFL quarterback. Winning, being able to do everything for your team, take your team down the field and score when you need it. Mahomes has the ability to do that. He has the arm talent. He can leave the pocket. But I don't know if I can ever see him passing Brady just because when you think of football, you think of Tom Brady.
It certainly is hard to imagine just because we are literally just now exiting the Tom Brady era. We've remembered so long. I know you remember. So long. I just had to. You're just laying it up there for me. I have to dunk it. You remember those historic moments like coming back from down 28-3. You remember everything that he was able to accomplish, the 7 Super Bowl rings, and now all of a sudden, hey, here's this new guy we got to pay attention to. So we'll certainly see how that turns out as well. Ikey, thoughts?
Well, I think Mahomes he's definitely on track to break all of Brady's records right now. But to start, I think it's a little bit too early to put him in the GOAT conversation. I mean, obviously it's him and Brady, but if you look at Brady's career, it's been 23 years, and extremely long time, but he has runs of 3 or 4 or 5 years where he's constantly in the Super Bowl, 4 out of 5 years, 3 out of 4 years. And Mahomes has done that, and he's been in 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls. He's had 2 MVPs, and I think 2 Super Bowl MVPs also. But I think it's a little bit too early. I think we need to see Mahomes continue this. As Goose was saying about the longevity, I think we need to see Mahomes keep putting up these numbers of production.
Well, certainly, and I also agree that it's very early to have this conversation just because we've only gotten 5 years of Patrick Mahomes. We got 20 of Tom Brady, so those resume sizes is very difficult. That's like comparing me to LeBron. I've only been here for 2 years. LeBron's been in the NBA for 20 years, and he's accomplished much more than I have. But nonetheless, good points across the board. Goose, you'll get the 3 here. Michael, you get the 2, and Ikey, you get the 1. Let's go ahead and move on to our second question. Flipping to the other sideline in this past week's Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts' impressive performance in the Super Bowl is proof that football is transitioning towards the era of dual-threat quarterbacks being the pillar of offenses around the league. With that in mind, who is a breakout candidate that could carry the torch alongside Hurts with this style of play and redefine how we talk about offenses in the NFL? Michael, you start us off.
I mean, you got the young guys. You got Jalen Hurts. You got Trey Lance. You got Justin Fields. But at the end of the day, there's only one guy that can really get it done. That I think can carry
Pulling
this.
an Ethan Ferguson from last week. Oh,
Get
somebody,
Here we go. This
somebody
guy.
in master control is very happy right
We got
now.
this guy right here. Lamar Jackson. I mean, since his MVP season in I think 2017, I mean he's the dual threat quarterback. When you think of a dual threat quarterback, I mean his leg power, and everyone who plays Matt can agree with me. He gets around the pocket, gets out everything he needs to do. I know he's struggling on his team just because he has no weapons. I mean his best offensive threat is Devin Duvernay. Love the guy, hook him forever. But I mean he doesn't have anything with him right now. I know Goose will love this one. He might. There's rumors he's going to Atlanta. There's rumors he might go to Atlanta this offseason. I think that's an even worse move than being on the Ravens. But at the end of the day, you don't know what's going. But when you think of dual threat, I think of Lamar Jackson.
Well, Michael, let me tell you something. You got a new best friend tonight. Jordan Galehood is back in the studio. I can already see him smiling from ear to ear as he heard that. So you get some brownie points with him there. But certainly a good answer. And Ravens, just pay the guy. What are we doing? Don't let him end up in Ghost Town. Like, come on. Ikey, carry us on.
You know, I like the Lamar Jackson answer, but I'm gonna obviously Justin Fields. You know, he had a breakout rushing season this year, but I'm gonna go with Josh Allen. He's a little bit older, but he can sling it. But whenever he goes on the run, he's a hard man to bring down, and he's not afraid of the contact either. And he's a fun quarterback to watch.
You know, I've always said, and people have given me flack for this, that if Josh Allen puts it all together, he might be, pound for pound, the greatest quarterback we've ever seen just because he can do everything. He can throw, he's strong, he's big. What more could you want? He's a cannon of an arm. That's my thing. Obviously, I think his IQ is the only thing that's holding him back. If he gets that down, we might have to start thinking about that conversation. Prototypical quarterback, of course. Obviously, the accomplishments aren't there yet for him. But nonetheless, you had me in the first half of your answer, though. Goose, you've known me for a long time. You know what I'm looking for. What's your answer?
I know exactly what you're looking for, Tommy. Anthony Richardson is going to be the best dual-threat quarterback in the league in 3 years' time. Anthony Richardson, 4.4 40. He is going to light up the combine. If you've seen his workout videos, the accuracy on his ball has gotten better. When he gets into the league, he is going to terrorize NFL defenses. Tommy, I know you were looking for Justin Fields, but you have given me too much crap for the Falcons for too long for me to give you that satisfaction. So Anthony Richardson, book it right now, best mobile quarterback in 3 years in the NFL.
Let me say this. I agree with you. I love Anthony Richardson. I think he is a phenomenal player. I think he's going to be the second best mobile quarterback in the next 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Fields exists, all right? All three of you are wrong in that
Get this
facet.
guy out of here.
No. Hey, I'm the host here. I can take all your points away. Anyways, I do really love Anthony Richardson. I think the fact that, they mentioned the 4.4 40, but everybody forgets that he has an absolute cannon of an arm, and we talked about that with Josh Allen. He's bigger than Josh Allen, which is horrifying to think about. But I certainly understand why there's hesitancy among NFL GMs on his draft stock, and I think that is righteous. But if he gets the right coach, that could be potentially terrifying for the rest of the league. Really good answers across the board. Goose, of course, you're getting the 1 here. Michael, you're going to get the 2, and then Ikey, you're going to get the 3. I love the Josh Allen comparison there. We're right around the midpoint of the NBA season, which means it's time for the All-Star break. Heading into the exciting weekend and following the trade deadline, which team looks the most poised to win a championship? Ikey, start us off, and you've got a smile on your face. I think you know where you're going with this.
I'm gonna go with my man, the Longhorn, Kevin Durant. As everyone's seen, he's got traded to the Phoenix Suns, and they're not sitting in a bad spot in the West right now. They're sitting in 4th place. And it's looking like it's the weaker conference when in between the West and the East this year. So I think the Suns have a chance to run the table.
Well, you certainly think with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton in your starting lineup, you have a pretty good chance to at least make it deep in the playoffs. But there's one of those 4 that always holds a team back. Everybody say it with me. Chris Paul. Okay, no, nobody? All right, thanks, guys.
I didn't know where you were going.
That was a great one. It's CP0. Come on, guys. Chris, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. Good answer to start us off, and obviously Phoenix Suns won the trade deadline, I think, better than anybody else did in the league this year. Goose?
You know, the Suns, they have a great roster, but I'm going to go with a not-so-flashy move, and that's Jay Crowder to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks have won 10, make that 11 in a row with their win against the Celtics yesterday, and they're right behind Boston for the #1 seed in the East. If they get the #1 seed and they are healthy going into the playoffs with a healthy Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Drew Holiday, and then you add Jay Crowder, who has a bunch of experience winning. He was on the Phoenix Suns when they went to the NBA Finals and lost to the Bucks. He was on the Miami Heat whenever they lost to the Lakers in the finals, and he was on the Celtics whenever they were successful with Isaiah Thomas in that roster. So I think when you add another winner who can defend at a high level, who can shoot the 3 well, he's going to play extremely well alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're the hottest team in the NBA. I got to go with the Milwaukee Bucks.
You know, that move reminds me of when Milwaukee brought in P.J. Tucker a couple of years ago, and they basically just had him sit in the corner on offense and wait to shoot a 3. He shot a lot of 3s. He made a lot of 3s. Milwaukee won a bunch of games. They went on to win an NBA championship. So, you know, you add that with Giannis, Drew Holiday, who had 40 against the Celtics, by the way. Where was that? Where did that come from? Way to go, Drew. Chris Middleton, when he comes back healthy, certainly love Milwaukee in the East. Michael, your thoughts?
All right, well, like I said at the beginning, I'm coming with some hot takes. This one might cost me some points. They may be the 13th seed in the West, but give me the Lakers.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I will see the Lakers through from the end to when they're hosting the trophy up in the air in June. I mean, at the trade deadline, they picked up Mo Bamba, which is size, talent. They got D'Angelo Russell, which is finally a guard LeBron could help give the ball up to whenever maybe he's too tired. And then when the team's healthy, when you have Lonnie Walker playing, you have LeBron playing, the team, it's different. I can see them doing very well this year to finish the season. I mean, whenever LeBron's playing, they have a higher plus-minus than the Bucks. But when he's not playing, they have a lower plus-minus than the Rockets. If you have LeBron in that game, he's just an all-time leading scorer. He's the greatest ever step on a basketball court. And you get them into that playoff picture, I think they take it.
Michael, my friend, I am about as big as a LeBron James fan as you will find. There is no way that the Lakers are winning any sort of championship this year. They could have a consolation championship, and they would lose to the Rockets. That's just how it works in Los Angeles now. LeBron, please, just get out of there. Just leave. Like, you're just wasting your time right now. The best they got you was D'Angelo Russell. Really? Kyrie Irving was there. Granted, he's got a history, but, I mean, it's Kyrie Irving. Basketball-wise, he's perfect. Anyways. Great answers once again across the board. We are through 2 sets of questions, and we finally have a leader atop of the board. Justin with 13 points. Right behind him with 12 is Ikey. And last but certainly not least with 11 points is Michael. But all that can change in an instant, especially in the next round, which is the rapid-fire round. It's next on College Crossfire. Welcome back to College Crossfire. We have to start this block by apologizing. We've committed a mortal sin. The College Crossfire sign has not been on display the entire night, and it only took us until the last block to finally realize it. So for that, I lose 10 points, and I'm now at -10 for the year since I'm not good enough to get any points. But these guys are. It's time for the last 3 questions of the night here on College Crossfire. This is the rapid fire round, so you know what that means. The points are double. It's anyone's game. If you're new to the show, Rapid Fire is our third and final segment where our contestants will have to answer 3 questions just like they have the last 2 rounds, but this time they have no idea what I'll be asking. We've got 2 newcomers here, so this is going to be fun for you guys. Everything comes off the dome. They say defense wins championships. That's not true. Rapid Fire wins championships. Let's find out who tonight's champion will be. Here we go. In this year's Super Bowl, we were blessed with 15 minutes of art in the form of music, thanks to Rihanna creating a very hard act to follow up with. Now that said, who would you want to perform in the Super Bowl next year? Anybody can take it.
Let's go with the obvious answer here. Who doesn't want the 6th God? Who doesn't want Drake performing in the middle of the bowl right at halftime against 2 teams that are probably pretty mid, but they somehow made it there? I like Drake. Everything he puts out is a classic since he hopped in the game till now. There's no other right answer. I think Drake's the way you got to go.
I don't know about everything, but he certainly has put out a lot of good music. So we're starting off with Drake. Ellis, two answers remaining. You've got something up your sleeve, Ikey. I see the smile creeping.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little throwback. Imagine the Eagles performing in the Super Bowl halftime show, one last tour.
Okay.
Hotel California, SoFi Stadium. You picture it?
Okay.
I can see it. I can see it. Absolutely.
Not a bad answer. Not a bad answer.
I
Goose,
mean,
the last one left.
We were talking a few days ago back in the studio about an all-country halftime show. And, I mean, say what you want about country music. I'm not even the biggest country music fan. But you saw what they did just last year in the Super Bowl in SoFi with a bunch of, they threw it back. They got the 90s, early 2000s, the rap game involved. Why can't they do the same with the country music? Bring some Luke Bryan, bring a couple other guys out, bring, whoever you want. Make it all country, make it fun. I think it'd be enjoyable.
Enjoyable for you. You're getting the 2 here on this one. This is football. Nobody wants to hear whale trucks and I don't know.
What do you mean?
That was a pretty good country impression, right?
Texas. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Texas. Come on, man. You're getting the 2 here. Michael, you get the 6, ironically enough. And Ikey, you get the 4. Just terrible, Goose. I expected so much more from our reigning champion. You're a veteran, man. What are we doing? Moving on, we mentioned the NBA All-Star Weekend earlier. It's full of fun events like the dunk contest, the skills challenge, and the 3-point shootout. Let's say you're in charge of the NBA's All-Star Weekend. If you could add another type of skills competition, what would it be? And please explain.
Let me jump out the gates first again. If there's one thing all hoopers want to see, it's a king in the court, a one-on-one. You get your best players, you get all your all-stars together, you put a set score of, let's say, 11, 15, and you get 3 dribbles, 3 to 5 dribbles to make your move and get to the bucket, step back 3, whatever. All hoopers love a quick 1v1. The tensions get high, it gets competitive, it gets fun. I think if I saw the best players in the world do that, I'd sit there and watch more than I'd watch the game.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. Nothing excited me more than walking in my senior year of high school to the gym and seeing that it was King of the Court Day. I was the manager, granted, but I could still give half the varsity kids buckets. So, guys, if you're watching, I own you. Guys?
For me, kind of on a similar note, the NBA All-Star used to do a thing a few years back where they had a shooting challenge and they'd get some WNBA players involved. I think a 3-on-3 would be really interesting. You have an All-Star, a rookie, and then a WNBA player. You run a 3-on-3 tournament. You got 6 teams involved, and then it's a double elimination. Whoever wins gets $100,000. You give it to your favorite charity. I think that'd be a blast. You could have a team of like Steph Curry and then throw Paolo Banchero and Elena Deladon together together, and I think that'd be a great squad. I think that'd be a lot
That's
of fun.
a stacked
So
team right there.
I'm just saying, a 3-on-3 tournament, throw some WNBA, throw a couple rookies in there, it'd be a great time.
I like that. I also like the thought of charity. Look at charitable Goose here, guys.
Someone get Commissioner
Goose
on
is
the
for
phone.
the people, everyone.
Get the
Even though
Commissioner on
his
the phone.
last answer was horrific, he followed it up with a nice one and wants to show out. Ikey?
So when I think of basketball, my first experience playing basketball is, you ever played horse, you know, the shooting game, horse
Absolutely.
or pig? Just, I'm thinking of, you know, you get five all-stars volunteer, and then they play a game of horse, and this isn't just any game, this is a mega size, you know, you got half-court shots, trick shots, you can incorporate, you know, some sort of dunking aspect to it. And whoever wins gets, say, $100 grand to donate to a charity of their choice. I think that'd be a cool thing to do, a cool event.
Wow, look at this. We got two charitable gentlemen here. What a nice look for the NBA. Adam Silver, if you're looking, you got two guys right here. I do think you guys had great ideas charity-wise, but I love Michael's idea. Just because if you're telling me you put LeBron and KD one-on-one against each other, I'm watching that more than I'm watching any All-Star game ever. So you get the 6 here, Michael. Justin, you get the 4. Ikey, you get the 2. This one's getting really close. It comes down to our final question. Yesterday was an unexpectedly eventful Valentine's Day for Eagles cornerback James Bradbury after Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster came out of absolutely nowhere and posted a Valentine's Day card about his late-game holding call in the Super Bowl. So, fellas, in the spirit of this day of love, give me your best sports-related Valentine's Day message. Try to win me over here. Oh, this is going to be great.
Oh, man.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I got you. Are you the Falcons? Because I won't give you a ring. That's all.
I thought you were going a way different direction with that.
That's all it is.
Thank you for sticking that way. But I'm glad that you played your own tune there. So well done, Goose.
Okay. Let's go with. I'm calling a blank. I have no idea.
This
how
is
to
tough.
This is a tough question.
You know, that's how we try to make it here on College Crossfire.
Is your nickname LeBron because you're the greatest girlfriend of all time? That's all I got. That's all I got.
Okay. if that was me, I'm not going out to dinner with you. But we'll take it. We'll take it. All right, Ikey, you're the only one left, and you got that big grin. I know you got something up your sleeve.
All right, are you an NBA championship? Because I'm Michael Jordan, and I will win you over.
Oh, okay.
Please be my Valentine.
Okay. I see you, Ikey.
Solid.
I see you, Ikey. All right, so we got 3 good answers once again across the board. Since it's our final question, can't relay who got which point, but nonetheless, surprisingly, we do have a College Crossfire champion tonight. Great way to close out the show. Thanks again for all coming up. But as you know, there can only be one winner. Today's winner of College Crossfire is, in his first time on air, Michael. Michael, congratulations on winning your first episode of College Crossfire. Samantha, do we have time for FaceTime? Yes, we do. Michael, take it away.
I mean, just hot takes is just what I do. I beat them with all my friends. They try and give me something. I give them something better at the end of the day. I'm going for Rookie of the Year. Let's do it. That's how we do it.
Michael with no thank yous for anybody whatsoever, just straight, I am him. So, congratulations, Michael, for winning, and huge thanks to Goose and Ikey for coming on out tonight. You were fantastic. Ikey, amazing debut. Please, everybody, give it up for Ikey for a fantastic debut.
Thank you.
Welcome to TSTV to the both of you, and everybody. Conversely, let's boo Goose for losing after he won last week. Ready? Boo. Boo.
What is this vendetta you have against me, Tommy?
You know I love you. See, you got a fan in the crowd. Huge thanks to our contestants for coming out tonight and everybody in the TSTV studios here with us as well as backstage. Before you go, be sure to remember to come back on Friday mornings for the 1-0 Sports Show and Monday nights for College Press Box. Thank you to our live studio audience for coming out and repping as great as they usually do. Thanks to our contestants and especially our executive producer Jordan Galehood back in master control. I want to thank you once again for watching us. Have a wonderful rest of your night. For the rest of the crew, I'm Tommy Yarrish. We'll see you next time.